Hello everybody, this is Miro and welcome to Minecraft Let's Build how to build a hidden staircase. My last video was how to make a cemetery, and in the very last tomb I have a hidden staircase somewhere in here. I also have two buttons on top, and in the hidden room below, two more buttons. One of the buttons in each room closes the staircase, while one of the buttons in each room opens it. From here, this button opens it, and it leads down here, and you can put whatever you want in here. I just happen to have lava behind some leaves because I think it looks neat. And once you get down here, you can close it, and have your own little secret room. Kind of neat. So let me show you the redstone wiring before I show you how to build it. What I did here, because this is a flat world, there's only so far you can build below before you hit bedrock, and then once you hit bedrock, there's nothing left. There's just emptiness. So what I'm going to do, what I did, I should say, is I built up and made my own little hill and put it on top of that hill. And I tried to conceal the redstone wiring from the front, but from the back I left it open so you could see. That would be the main issue if you don't like having your wiring shown, is just hiding it, but you can do it just by putting blocks around it, and try not to cut it off accidentally by doing something like, say, like this. That cuts it off. That won't be any good. So what you would have to do is actually just build around that. You would have to go over it like that, like so. See, you can't do it like that, so you'd have to go over once more. You get the general idea. That's how you're gonna hide it if you want to hide it. But let me go ahead and just show you the wiring. This connects to a button down here and goes into this line of redstone, which also connects to this button right here. And these buttons right here open up the staircase. You'll notice that this line of redstone is on, and this line of redstone is off. This little L-shaped thing here is, I think it's called a latch. I'm not sure the technical name for it, but what it does is it allows the buttons to act as sort of like a lever. Whereas one button will open it and one button will close it, and it won't just do it for a couple of seconds and close like it normally would if it was just a button. You could do it that way. That'd be a lot less redstone work to do. You would have to put repeaters all along whatever path you want, and however many you want, and at whatever setting you want, for the delay just enough for your liking. But I prefer this method. It's simpler in my opinion. So those are the two lines that open it. That line and this line, I'll show you one more time, connect to this L-shaped block. See, there's actually an upside down L. It's right there, and one underneath it. And on that L-shaped block, you have two redstone torches, one down here and one right here. And they have to be in those positions, or otherwise it won't work. But I'll go into how to make this and what to do with it later. Okay, now for the buttons that close it, I have one right here connected down here that leads up to the L-shaped block, the upside down L-shaped block, and another one that connects to this line of redstone. So that way it becomes easier. You just have the two buttons that are going to close it connect to each other, and the two buttons that open it connect to each other. And then you come here, and I have this block connected to the L shape, mostly the top of the buttons that open it, or yeah, the top of the buttons that open it, connected to this block, which has this redstone torch, not on this block, but actually on the side of this block. That's important too. Otherwise, when this button gets powered, it won't affect this torch unless it's there. But this torch, by being on top of this, also affects this redstone right here. So that's kind of neat. Once that redstone torch is turned on, it'll turn on this redstone, which will activate the repeaters, which will activate the pistons, which will push out the stone to cover up the staircase. So I've showed you the redstone work. Let's get started building it. Right here I have a skeleton of the building. It's basically similar to the crypt I have in here, and just really empty. And inside here, we're going to choose where we're going to put the staircase. I'm going to put it in the same location, starting with the back. I'm going to leave this stone here, but I'm going to break this one, and this one. You need about 3 stones in using stairs in order to fit down there, because if I leave this stone here, once I put the staircase down, I won't be able to go all the way down because the stone's in the way. But with that one gone, I can. You might have to break more if you're not going to use this type of staircase. If you use like half slabs, you might have to break 1 or 2 more. But this way, you use less sticky pistons. And I don't know about you, but sometimes it's kind of hard to come across the materials for the sticky pistons, depending on what server you're playing on. But once you make your staircase and you get into your room, you want to break out the wall, or part of the wall, where the pistons are going to be. So you want to break out that one, and that one. Now we need a platform to put these sticky pistons on. This is going to be easier if you're building on the ground, aside from being building in the air. So I have my platform right there, and you just place the sticky pistons like so. Now you can put the stone in front of it. When those pistons activate, it'll close the floor up, and you won't be able to tell it's there. Alright, that's a good step. The next step I would do is setting up your buttons. Choose where you want to have the 2 buttons in the top room, then choose where you want to have the 2 buttons in the bottom room. Just for whatever reason, I'm going to put another button right here. I like to have it here, and I'm going to put the button right here. Like I said, you can put them anywhere you want to. You just have to connect the ones that are going to open it to each other and the one that are going to close it to each other. And depending on where you have it, depends on how much redstone you need and how ingenious you have to become to keep everything compact in order for it to work. So you could literally have these buttons anywhere, and they'll connect. It also, like I said, just depends. You might have to throw in extra repeaters too in case the signal doesn't carry. Okay, so we have our 2 buttons up here. Let's put our 2 buttons down here. I'm gonna choose to put one button right here, and I'm gonna put another button right here. Okay, so they're roughly in the same spot, in the same areas. They're just a spot over. That'll be fine. We should be able to work around that without too much trouble. I would recommend start building redstone, your redstone work from here, instead of worrying about connecting the buttons just yet, because from here it's the fastest way to that L-shaped block, and once you get to that block, then everything else should be easy. So make sure you have a little platform behind it. That's where you're going to put the repeaters, and then make sure there's an empty space behind the repeaters, because you need redstone behind those, and then at least one more behind here. That way you have a connecting line. Of course, if you want it to be even more compact, you don't even really need this one. I don't believe. You can leave that space blank and just put the torch right here. And once I do that, see how that closes the floor? So with that on, our floor's closed. Can't even tell we have a staircase here. Okay, so from here, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to turn off the pistons by building that L-shaped device. In order to do that, what we need to do is connect that block to the L shape. You can do that like so. This redstone will connect to here, but only once we add this. You put a block right there. Like I said, it'd be easier, but that has to be empty. Connect another block right here, and then down to finish off the L-shape connection. Put a torch right here, and once we do that, it turns this off. That'll be fine. Put redstone up here, and now we have the connection running straight to this block. We need another redstone torch though. We need to put the other redstone torch right here. That has got to be just like that, otherwise it won't work. Now, from here, we have to connect one of the lines to one of the buttons from up here, and connect one of the buttons to right here. So let's start with the closest button. Let's start with this button. We need to run some redstone from that button. It has to either be out like this or like this, because if you have it to the side, it just won't work. I'll show you what I mean. It has to look like it's touching the block. Because if it's not, it's not powering it. If it's like this, it's powering nothing. But if it's like this, see how it's powering the block. From there, we can go on to powering the contraption. So I like to make a little staircase for this to run to keep everything kind of on the same level. We're going to connect it to this bottom one right here. So do it again. Okay, and then we're going to come in like so, and like that, and that should be what we need in order to activate it. What that'll do is that'll power on this, turn this power onto this block, which I believe will either turn on this redstone or torch, or turn it off. I think it'll turn it on, which will basically reverse whatever setting this is on, and should turn that on or off. Let's see what it does. That will know if that right there closes it or opens it, and it appears that it does close it. So this is the button that we use to close, which is what I thought it was. Okay, so now that we know that that closes it, we need to open it again. So the best way to do that is to connect this with the top of that L-shaped contraption. Now you don't want to build it too close, because if you build it too close, you're going to make mistakes like this. See, that connects, and it just makes that button completely useless. You just now you have two buttons that close it from in the same room. Maybe if you have multiple buttons connected to the same button and multiple buttons that close it with repeaters, you could do like some you could mess with people, you could troll them that way. That would be kind of funny, actually. But what you would need to do is you'd either have to go a block above or a block under or a block out. So it would either have to be like so, or like actually it would have to be 2 blocks up, because if you did it this way, it would still connect. So in order to get that right, you would have to go 2 blocks above the wire if you're going to do it that way. See, now it doesn't connect. Or you could go 2 blocks under, but we needed it to be on this level. So if you wanted, you could connect it like so. And redstone has a fairly good range when it's powered on, but this may be pushing it a little too far. We will see. I might need a repeater in that. I will need a repeater if I connect the bottom button, more than likely, to this line. But let's just see. Yeah, it looks like it stops a little short of what we need. So let's go ahead and put another repeater on the line somewhere. It doesn't matter where. We'll put it right here. And that should be more than enough. Okay. Bam. Now we got the top working. That'll open it. That'll close it. So now we're halfway done. In fact, we're more than halfway done. We're almost ready to be completely done with our staircase. What do you want to do is once you go down here, you want to choose what button you want to open it, what button you want to close it, and connect them to the other buttons. Just for simplicity's sake, to show you what I'm doing, I'm going to connect this button with the one that opens it, and this button with the one that closes it. So, in order to do that, we have to power the block. So this is the one that's going to open it. So, to power the block, we need to come out 2. Doesn't matter how, as long as that redstone is facing like that. And then, from there, that might be enough. Just connect it like that. That'll open it. Now, let's you want to double check if you're working with a big project. This is small enough where you could just kind of finish it and see if you made any mistakes, but it's also good to double check it in case you went wrong and you didn't know where you went wrong because it'd been a while since you started. Will this open it? Well, we have it closed. That's connected to the button that opens it, and it does indeed open it. That means that the only thing we have left to do is to make this button close it. So let's connect it to the one that closes it, which is right here, by the way. So in order to do that, we might have to do some tricky work, but not by much. Come out to yes. I wonder if you see where I'm going with this. Come out to, go down here, come here, and that should connect automatically to this side, which should allow us to close it. Let's check. It's open, and now it's closed. Well, that is how you make the staircase. Oh yeah, James just reminded me why I initially put these repeaters there to begin with. Because you don't need the repeaters to make this thing work. You can just use redstone dust. But the repeaters there are to add a nice effect, which if you set the delay on them, like, then you have this effect when you go to open and close the staircase. See, open them. See, instead of all coming out at once, they go one at a time. And so that's just a little flavor you can add to your staircase to make it look a bit neater. Thanks James for reminding me about my original tin.
No problem.
You might be asking what this over here is. This is for those people that don't want it to be too bulky on the outside. I've demonstrated how to do it with 2 buttons. That's fairly condensed, but the only problem with it is that it is vertical rather than horizontal. So what I did here is I made it where one of these buttons will make the piston go out. It'll make this piston right here, this one piston, go out, and we can say that it has a block on the end of it, which will hide the staircase. Let's just for it'll hide this staircase right here. Okay, so we press this and that pushes it out. That hides the staircase. And of course you can have this facing wherever. You just have to make sure that the redstone is pointing towards the piston which was why I added the repeaters alongside the pistons earlier back here, because you want to make sure that they're connected to the pistons. So in order to turn this off, you press this button and it turns it back off. But how does this work? Well, this one's kind of easy too. There's one method you could use where you could have the line, I'm going to break it here, break it right there rather, connected to the one block, have a redstone torch on that, a redstone torch on that, redstone torch on that, and redstone torch here, which will turn that on. And then you could use that to turn it off. And it works just like that every time. That's one method. And that's a bit more compact, because as you can see here, I have it leading up to here. And this is where the magic happens to make it stay. Let's turn it back to daytime. When I press the button, what that repeater does up there is, you see this power is continually powering the line, because it's in that circle shape. Because it's in this circle shape, so it's continually getting power from one side while powering it's powering itself, which is in return powering the rest of the stone, which is powering this, pushing that out. I don't believe it would work as well without that, which is why I added this. It's a staircase method going up here. You could use this method until you get to this this little style block right here is what you would have to make, which would be even more condensed. But it might, in case you find that too hard to make, you can just make it where it has a staircase, spiraling staircase kind of effect. But it has to be like that, because once you close that, it's gone. It doesn't work anymore. I push it out, but it comes back in. So it will not stay out unless you push that repeater there. So how you turn it off is you need at least another sticky piston to cut off the line. Remember why we don't put the thing there? Because it cuts the line. Well, when you use a sticky piston with a block to cut off the flow of the redstone, it will act as an off switch. So there you go. That's another way to make the staircase. But to be honest, it's just easier to go with this method, because it's just easier. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked it, be sure to hit the like button. And if you want to suggest anything for me to build or to attempt to build, leave a comment below. Or if you just want to flame me or tell me I did an awesome job, by all means. Anyway, I will see you guys next time, and take care.